How's it going, everyone? I'm Landon with LMR.com. In this video, we're going to be taking a closer look at Ford Performance's Power Pack calibration for the 2021 and newer 2.7 liter Broncos, and we're going to talk about the installation process. Let's get right into it. If you own a 2021 and newer Ford Bronco and are in the market for a performance calibration and tuner, then you should definitely consider this option from Ford Performance. With a few different calibration options available on the market to choose from, Ford Performance's version has been strategically engineered and dyno tested so that the increase in performance won't sacrifice reliability or drivability. Ford Performance's calibration increases the peak horsepower to 355 and the peak torque to 433 pound-feet. For those that don't know, the factory rating for the 2.7 liter twin-turbo V6 Bronco with premium fuel is 330 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. This calibration provides peak increases of 25 horsepower and 18 pound-feet of torque. All these ratings are at the engine's flywheel. Once you move that power through the drivetrain, these numbers will be less. Think of real-world horsepower as your take-home pay after taxes are taken out. We'll talk more about those numbers in just a moment whenever we dyno this Bronco on our Dyno Jet chassis dyno. Not only does this calibration offer better engine performance, Ford's engineers have also optimized the shift schedule of the 10R60 transmission and improved the throttle response. Optimizing the shift schedule allows for better use of the power band and a quote-unquote sportier feel, for lack of a better word, when driving. This tuner also supports a host of selectable options for those of you that plan on future upgrades. These include the ability to change the tire size up to a BFG 37 by 12.5 by 17 tire, the ability to change the axle ratio up to a 538 gear set. It enables the upgrade of the M190 front drive unit to the M210 unit. You can read and clear DTCs, which is short for diagnostic trouble codes. It can display gauges of user selectable parameters. And lastly, you can return the vehicle to stock if and when that feature is needed. Ford supports this calibration with a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty when installed by a Ford dealer or a certified ASE Red Seal technician. This calibration and tuner will work with 2021 and newer model year Broncos in US and Canada. At this time, it is not available for use in California with 2022 model year vehicles. 91 octane fuel or higher is required at all times with this calibration. Running a octane of less than 91 could cause engine damage and it's going to void the warranty. In the box is going to be the ProCal tuner, an OBD2 cable so you can connect the tuner to the vehicle, a USB cable to connect the tuner to the computer, a windshield mount, a voucher number, and a CarBO sticker. You will need a Windows-based PC running Windows 7 or newer. The ProCal tuner is updatable, so Ford Performance recommends that you periodically plug the tuner into your computer. That way you can check for updates and update the device accordingly. Now let's shift gears and walk you through the steps of setting up your tuner and loading the calibration into your vehicle on this 2021 Cactus Gray Bronco. To begin, you'll first want to create a Ford Performance account if you don't have one. Use the link provided in the instructions. Fill out all the required fields to create your account. I already had an account, so all I had to do was log in. Navigate to the ProCal tab within your account profile. Select Register for ProCal. Enter the voucher ID number from the piece of paper provided in the kit. Make sure you use dashes and capital letters. Double check to make sure the ID is correct and select Validate Voucher. Now you can download the ProCal software. Under the status column, click the ProCal software download link for the voucher ID that you just submitted. Open the software and connect the device to the computer using the supplied cable. Follow the on-screen prompts and fully complete all updates for the ProCal software and ProCal device. Once the tuner is updated, disconnect it from the computer. Next, connect a battery charger or tender to the battery. This will ensure adequate battery voltage during the calibration process. Make sure all accessories are turned off and unplug all electronic devices from all power and USB ports. Connect the device to the vehicle's OBD2 port using the provided cable. The OBD2 port is located underneath the dash. Whenever the device powers on, select the Programming option and follow the on-screen prompts to read and save the stock calibration. It is very important that you do not turn off the ignition or unplug the device until prompted to do so. Once the stock file is saved, push the engine start-stop button to power off the vehicle. Disconnect the tuner from the vehicle. Reconnect the device to the computer. Open the ProCal software. The software will prompt you to back up and save the stock calibration to the Ford Performance servers. After the backup is complete, the software will download the Ford Performance Calibration. Follow the on-screen prompts. Confirm that the software now shows the Ford Performance Calibration in addition to the stock file. Disconnect the device from the computer. Reconnect the device to the vehicle. Push the engine start-stop button without depressing the brake pedal so the vehicle doesn't start. Select Programming. Select Performance Calibration, followed by the calibration file. Follow all on-screen prompts and then wait several minutes for the calibration file to install. The last message on the device will be clearing codes, finished, key off for 3 seconds. This indicates the end of the procedure. Disconnect the tuner from the vehicle. I always leave the tuner and the cable in the glove box. However, you can store yours whichever way you like. After that, you're all done. Now that we have the calibration installed in the vehicle, we're going to strap the Bronco down to our chassis dyno and see what performance gains we can expect with the Ford Performance Calibration. Now before we load the tune, I did do a dyno run with the factory calibration. This Bronco is stock with the exception of 17-inch wheels and 33-inch tall tires. It has the 10-speed 10R60 transmission, so technically the dyno pull should be made in 7th gear, which is the 1-to-1 ratio, and that allows kind of for a more truer result. But we're going to compare 5th gear runs, that way we can look at a more broad RPM range. If we pulled it in 7th gear, it would hit the speed limiter and we would only be able to compare a short section of the RPM range. Other than all that, this Bronco does have 93 octane fuel. So in stock trim, it made 291 horsepower at 4,900 RPM and 374 pound-feet of torque at 3,400 RPM. With the Ford Performance Calibration, this Bronco saw some good gains across the entire RPM range. Now before we talk about those, remember, individual results will vary. Peak power increased to 301 and the torque jumped up to 390 pound-feet. If you do the math, peak gains were 10 horsepower and 16 pound-feet of torque. But more importantly, there are curve gains of 30 plus horsepower and 30 plus pound-feet of torque. The curve gains are what give you that quote-unquote seat of the pants feeling. So after comparing the two, I would say that the results are good. Is there some room left on the table? Sure, but I'm telling y'all, it's hard to beat the reliability and drivability of a Ford Performance tune. Not to mention the additional supporting features of the ProCal tuner with the ability to change axle sizes and gear ratios. All right, folks, that's all we have for today. If you found value in what we showed, consider liking the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications. Until we see you in the next one, keep it right here with the Real Enthusiasts, LMR.com.